Round 2 on the MTD. Clearly I have the big torch out, and I got my jack back on there, and I'm going to put in just a tremendous amount of heat to it and see if we can crack her loose. I've been reading a lot of your suggestions. You know, I love the idea of the spray foam, but like you say, it's so very temporary. I went and looked at tubes, you know, change the tubes on here and hope the tires hold together, but gosh, tubes are like 40 bucks a piece, at least having them delivered in Montana. So I'm going to try to get it off again. I'm intrigued with the idea of possibly that super flexible spray foam and fill the tire up a bunch with it, bang it around, and then air it up. Maybe I can form a layer of spray foam inside there. I used to work with an old guy who did silicone molds, and we used to get tubes of silicone and squirt them into a bucket, and then I believe he used, what did he use to thin it? I have to go check what he used to thin it, but I'm wondering, can I pour in a little bit of liquid silicone and roll them around? I don't know. I hate to spend a whole lot of money on this thing with all the rest of its problems, but none of it matters till those dang things are off, so let's get to the torch. Trying to keep the teeth inboard of all the seals that are in the rear end. Trying to. I'm afraid for this tractor, it's not a priority. Starting to dish the rims again, and not a dang thing is happening. I still can't get anything to move, but I do have an interesting development. The tire just popped off the bead, and then I was able to get it out. Now I gotta stop and think about what exactly am I gonna do with this, and is there any way I can buff and glue in, say, a split wheelbarrow tube as a replacement sidewall to get me through here. Never got it to move. Put heat on it, tighten it up, put heat on it, come back, find the chains loose, but the rim never budged. So I'm not sure where something stretching and bending and breaking again, I guess. I gotta think about this. In the end, that's what I wanted, right? So now that I got what I wanted, what the hell do I do with it? Okay, so I took the time to completely scrub this thing inside and out, you know, just to maybe lower the dog shit to tire ratio. Especially because I gotta lean on it, get my face in here. But that crease, that's the bad spot. And it happened before I got the tractor. I got these tires off. My feeling is the tractor isn't worth dropping. What is it? These things are $60 a piece, replacement tires. I just don't know if it's worth dropping that kind of money into it. And of course, I'm a cheap bastard. I wonder, since it's low speed, if I polish that smooth, that entire crack there, and then I lay in a strip from another inner tube, just cut it out, buff it, whether I could get it to adhere well enough on both sides to keep her going, and then just put these back on. Because it's not like they're bald, they just they got damaged. Oh, look at those things. That's what I'm dealing with right there. And it was right through here that I couldn't stop it from leaking. On both sides. Now, what do I got to lose, right? Except some time and skin off my knuckles. So I'm going to attempt to use a tire burr to polish off the texture in there so that I can get a decent adhesion. I have no idea if this is going to work. Can't tell you if you're going to give it a try. Eyeglasses are a must because you're going to stick your face in there. For those that remember, this is going to be a heck of a test for my poor crippled air compressor. It's really not liking this. Oh, and it's thin. It's pulling up cords already. That ain't working too good. I'm going to try painting the bad spot with just Napa brand universal rubber tire cement. Maybe I'll try to work it into the crack on the outside if I can get the torch in there and dry it out. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Now I'm going to try cutting some half-moon rubber bits out of old inner tube and then buff them up, and I don't know. It's a low-speed tire, right? So it's not like anybody's going to die from this experiment. What I've done is I've taken the sidewall out of a heavy light truck inner tube, and I created a half-moon shape. Then I split the half-moon in half, and it turns out that this half-moon shape on the inside, this is the outer piece one over here, is the right diameter to run along that slit, and then the piece that got cut off is the right diameter to go on the outside of the tire. And I'm completely aware that patching the outside of the tire is just weird as hell, but I was kind of hoping that what would really happen is I'd get some good glue down inside the crack, and then maybe by gluing something over the top I could protect it from the sun, hold it together so it doesn't shred. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure what I'm doing at this point, but we'll all find out if it works. So there's the first of the outside sidewall patches. I gotta admit, it looks pretty damn promising, to be honest with you. I missed at that corner, so I had to pull it up and put some more goo in there, but yeah. I have no idea how long this will last. No idea whatsoever. If I were you, I'd either be putting a tube in it at this point, or I'd be replacing the tires at this point. Both of which we've proved that with some heat, you can get the dang things off the tractor. I think it was heat that got them off. I mean, I expected to have to beat these things off the rims, so we're already ahead of the game that way. Well, there it is. Patches on both sides. Both sides. You know, I guess the purpose of the outside one was, again, to hopefully, put some glue in that crack. You can see that crack line right through there. Put some glue in that crack line and then keep the sun and the water out of it, maybe, and give it some strength, kind of holding the tire together. And it seems to have worked okay, because when I went to try to find this crack on this tire, I missed it and glued way off to the side, because even when I kneeled on it, I couldn't force that crack to show itself again. So I'm going to go ahead and splice in another little piece right there, and then goo over the seam and splice in another piece over the top. Whatever. My tires were failing two ways. They were leaking, but more importantly, they were starting to tear. And if this will hold the tear together for this year, while money is so dang tight, by God, then we're good to go. And for whatever reason, it holds the tears together for the next couple of years. And that's just gravy. But yeah, I mean, it spanning that gap, that crack, seems to make a huge difference. Whether they'll just bubble and blow right off, that remains to be seen. Almost ready to go ahead and put it back on, and you can see I've scrubbed the bead surfaces on my rim, painted them blue, because a study I just made up said that blue works best. Now, blue is just the color of I don't really give a crap. In fact, I'm finding it very hard to wait long enough for that to dry, as opposed to just stuffing it on there right now. but we'll give it a bit more time. Fingers crossed. Heck, maybe this will be semi-permanent. Wouldn't that be a joke? Well now, so far so good. I don't know what they're inflated to. It's certainly more than 10. So, seems to be holding okay. Guess the real test will be long term. But that, looks promising enough that it's probably worth trying to pull the other tire. Leave this one in the air under pressure and see what happens. I will say this, it is really surprisingly easy to get these to come loose. You know, I don't know what I was expecting. I guess like ATV tires, and I've used the backhoe to get ATV tires off, let alone a tire changing machine. But this came off, just a tire iron out of the Jeep and a regular tire tool, and she came, just wedged it in, pried it back, and I'd slip the other tool between the bead and the rim and pry and slip down and pry. Only took 4 pries. So yeah, God, I love it when I make more work for myself than I need to. It's an extra skill I have. Too bad I don't get paid for it. 2 days beating on these rims, I tell you. Well, as you can see, I did get the hunker running. Maybe it heard me and finally understood that I was so sick and tired of it. But seems to be running fine. The patches are holding okay. I had one bubble. I popped it off the rim. I reset it on the inside, and so far it hasn't bubbled again. So I guess I sealed the leak. It'll get us through the season, but unfortunately, I know some of you are looking forward to it, we will not be tearing it in two with the 5-ton truck. But, oh yeah, that will happen eventually. It's too cool an idea not to. So, how did the inside-outside patching work long term? It's a stupid idea. They do hold, ironically, and it has dramatically dropped the air loss. So much, in fact, that with a little bit of slime in this far tire, I was able to keep pressure in it for 2 days, which is a lot better than the 15-20 minutes it was doing before. The other tire, not quite so good. I've only got about an hour in that one. Again, I doubled the time available, but I came up with a workable solution for leaf season, and that is this stack of custom blocks right down there. You see, when the tires are inflated, those blocks clear by ½ an inch. And then I just air up the tires and pull the blocks out, and off we go. And when I park it, I put these back underneath, and yeah, it doesn't put it down on the rims. So, clever. Yay for me. Anyways, patching inside outside the tires, yeah, it's a stupid idea. If I were you, I'd probably still try it again, because, you know, what are you gonna do, take my word for it? But you should just know, it probably is not gonna work. I do believe, however, if they hadn't been canvas on the inside of those tires, I still think it would have worked. But they are canvas on the inside of those tires, and so, yeah, there's no seal in it. Oh well.